Good morning to all. I am J. John Flavia, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics. Now we are going to see complex analysis. This is a core paper for second MSc Mathematics. Unit 1 Complex Functions. Section 1.1 Introduction to the concept of analytic function. The basic concepts of complex number and their properties are already studied in UG complex analysis. In complex numbers, we have to consider four different kinds of functions: real functions of a real variable, real functions of a complex variable, complex functions of a real variable, and the complex functions of a complex variable. The letters Z and W always denote complex variables to indicate a complex function of a complex variable. Here we use the notation W equal to f of Z, that is a complex function f defined from the complex number Z to the complex number W. Z can be written as Z equal to x plus iy, where x comma y belongs to real number system, or I equal to root of -1, that indicate the imaginary part, and W can be written as W equal to u plus iv, where u comma v belongs to R. Here f stands for the function and f of z for a value of the function. In this unit, we are going to see limits and continuity, analytic functions, polynomials, rational functions. We see the definition of limit. The function f of x is said to have the limit capital A as x tends to small a, that is limit x tends to a, f of x equal to a, consider as equation 1 if and only if the following is true. For every epsilon greater than 0, there exists a number delta greater than 0 such that modulus x minus a less than delta implies modulus f of x minus a less than epsilon for all x and x not equal to a. X approaches a in any side, either left hand side of a or right hand side of a. The left hand side limit also a right hand side limits are equal, then the limit exists. Note, in the real case, we can distinguish between the limits plus infinity and minus infinity. In the complex case, there is only one infinite limits. Some properties of absolute value. Absolute value of AB equal to absolute value of A into absolute value of B. Absolute value of A plus B less than or equal to absolute value of A plus absolute value of B. Condition 1 is equivalent to limit x tends to a, f of x bar equal to a bar. Consider as equation 2. From 1 and 2 we get limit x tends to a, real part of f of x equal to real part of a, limit x tends to a, imaginary part of f of x equal to imaginary part of a. Next we see the definition of continuous function. The function f of x is said to be continuous at the point a if limit x tends to a, f of x equal to f of a, that is left hand side limit of a and right hand side limit of a both are equal to f of a. Next we see the algebra of continuous. If f of x and g of x are two continuous functions, then the sum of two continuous function is continuous, product of two continuous function is continuous. The division, that is f of x divided by g of x, is continuous only if g of x not equal to 0. Suppose g of x equal to 0, the function value will be infinity. So the g of x value must be not equal to 0. Real part of f of x, imaginary part of f of x, and absolute value of f of x are all continuous. We see the definition of derivative of a function. Consider a function f of x. We can find out the derivative of f of x at the point a. The formal definition is f dash of a equal to limit x tends to a, f of x minus f of a divided by x minus a. Here f dash of a is called the derivative of the function f of x at the point a. Let f of z be a real function of a complex variable whose derivative exists at z equal to a. Then f dash of a is on one side real. The formal definition is f dash of a equal to limit x tends to a, h tends to 0, f of a plus h minus f of a divided by h. On the other side, it also have a limit f dash of a equal to limit x tends to a, ih tends to 0, f of a plus ih minus f of a divided by ih. Thus, a real function of a complex variable either has the derivative 0 or else the derivative does not exist. Next, we move on to analytic function. This concept also studied elaborately in UG complex analysis. Here we just recall some definitions and properties of analytic function. The class of analytic function is formed by the complex functions of a complex variable which possess a derivative wherever the function is defined. Consider the function f of z equal to u of z plus iv of z. This function satisfies the partial differential equation dou f divided by dou x equal to minus I dou f divided by dou y, which resolves into the real equations dou u by dou x equal to dou v by dou y, dou u by dou y equal to minus dou v by dou x. This can be also written as ux equal to vy, uy equal to minus vx. These equations are called Cauchy-Riemann differential equations. The derivation of Cauchy-Riemann differential equations are also studied in UG complex analysis. Consider f dash of z equal to ux plus ivx modulus f dash of z the whole square equal to ux square plus vx square. Ux square can be written as ux into ux plus vx square is written as vx into vx. We use the Cauchy-Riemann equation ux equal to vy, uy equal to minus vx. We get modulus f dash of z the whole square equal to ux vy minus vx uy. F dash of z the whole square equal to ux vy minus vx uy. It can be put in the determinant form. Modulus f dash of z the whole square equal to determinant of ux vx uy vy. Modulus f dash of z the whole square is called the Jacobian of u and v. Next, we define the Laplace equation. Delta u equal to dou square u divided by dou x square plus dou square u divided by dou y square equal to 0. Delta v equal to dou square v divided by dou x square plus dou square v divided by dou y square equal to 0. These equations are known as Laplace equation. A function u satisfies Laplace equation delta u equal to 0 is said to be harmonic. The real and imaginary parts of an analytic function are harmonic. If two harmonic functions u and v satisfy the Cauchy-Riemann equations, then v is said to be the conjugate harmonic function of u and vice versa. We see the polynomial. Every constant is an analytic function whose derivatives is 0. The simplest non-constant analytic function is z, whose derivative is 1. Since the sum and product of two analytic functions are again analytic, it follows that every polynomial p of z equal to a0 plus a1z plus a2z square up to etc plus an z power n, this is the nth degree polynomial, is an analytic function. Its derivative is p dash of z equal to a0 is a constant, so derivative of the constant function is 0. Derivative of z is 1, so we get a1. Derivative of z square equal to 2z, so we get 2a 2z up to etc plus derivative of z power n is n z power n minus 1, so we get n a n z power n minus 1. The derivative of p of z is p dash of z equal to a1 plus 2a2z up to etc plus n a n z power n minus 1 and a n not equal to 0. By the fundamental theorem of algebra, the polynomial of nth degree has n roots and is denoted by alpha 1, alpha 2 up to etc alpha n. If we have the roots, we can make the equation. So we get the polynomial with respect to the roots are p of z equal to a n into z minus alpha 1 into z minus alpha 2 up to etc. z minus alpha n, where the alpha 1, alpha 2 up to etc. alpha n are not necessarily distinct. From the factorization, we conclude that p of z does not vanish for any value of z different from alpha 1, alpha 2 up to etc. alpha n. Suppose exactly h of alpha 1, alpha 2 up to etc. alpha n are coincide. Their common value is called 0 of the polynomial p of z of order h. Suppose alpha is a 0 of order h, then p of z equal to z minus alpha power h, ph of z with ph of alpha not equal to 0. A 0 of order 1 is called a simple 0 and is characterized by the condition p of alpha equal to 0 and the derivative not equal to 0, that is p dash of alpha not equal to 0. Next we see the naming theorem, Lucas theorem. The theorem statement is, if all zeros of a polynomial p of z lie in a half plane, then all zeros of the derivative p dash of z lie in the same half plane. Proof. Consider p of z as a polynomial of nth degree. So we get the n roots. Let the roots be alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 up to etc. alpha n are zeros of p of z. Then p of z can be written as p of z equal to an into z minus alpha 1, z minus alpha 2 up to etc. z minus alpha n. Consider as equation 1. Taking log on both sides, log p of z equal to log an into z minus alpha 1 into z minus alpha 2 up to etc. z minus alpha n. Here we use the formula log mn equal to log m plus log n. So log p of z equal to log an plus log z minus alpha 1 plus log z minus alpha 2 up to etc. plus log z minus alpha n. Differentiate on both sides. Differentiation of log x equal to 1 by x. So we get differentiation of p of z equal to 1 divided by p of z. We again differentiate p of z. We get the first derivative p dash of z. So we get p dash of z divided by p of z equal to right hand side value 1 divided by z minus alpha 1 plus 1 divided by z minus alpha 2 up to etc. plus 1 divided by z minus alpha n. P dash of z divided by p of z equal to summation I equal to 1 to n 1 divided by z minus alpha n. Consider as equation 2. Suppose that the half plane h is defined as the part of the plane imaginary of z minus a divided by b less than 0. If alpha k is in the half plane h and z is not, then we have imaginary of z minus alpha k divided by b. We add and subtract a with the numerator. We get imaginary of z minus alpha k plus a minus a divided by b. We separate the terms imaginary of z minus a divided by b minus imaginary of alpha k minus a divided by b greater than 0. But the imaginary part of the reciprocal number have opposite sign. Therefore, under the same assumption, imaginary part of b divided by z minus alpha k less than 0. If it is true for all k, by equation 2, we get imaginary part of b into p dash of z divided by p of z equal to summation k equal to 1 to n b divided by z minus alpha k less than 0 and p dash of z not equal to 0. Hence, z should lies in the same half plane. Next, we move on to rational functions. Consider the function capital R of z equal to p of z divided by q of z, where p of z and q of z have no common factors and hence no common zeros. The zeros of q of z are called poles of R of z. The derivative of R of z is, here we use the u by v form. Differentiation of u by v equal to v u dash minus u v dash divided by v square. R dash of z equal to p dash of z into q of z minus q dash of z into p of z divided by q of z the whole square with q of z not equal to 0. If R of z equal to a0 plus a1z up to etc. plus anz power n divided by b0 plus b1z up to etc. plus bmz power m, If R1 of z equal to, from numerator taking z power n outside and the denominator taking z power m outside, so we get z power m minus n into a0 z power n plus a1 z power n minus 1 up to etc plus an divided by b0 z power m plus b1 z power m minus 1 up to etc plus bm. If m greater than n, R of z has 0 of order m minus n at the point infinity. If m less than n, R of z has pole of order n minus m at the point infinity. If m equal to n, R of infinity equal to an divided by bn, because the remaining terms are vanishes to put z tends to infinity, which values not equal to 0, infinity. Next we see linear fraction or linear transformation. A rational function of order 1 is called a linear fraction or linear transformation. The general form of linear transformation is defined as s of z equal to alpha z plus beta divided by gamma z plus delta, with alpha delta minus beta gamma not equal to 0. Next we see the inverse linear transformation. Consider the linear transformation s of z equal to alpha z plus beta divided by gamma z plus delta. Then z equal to s inverse of w equal to delta w minus beta divided by minus gamma w plus alpha. The transformation s inverse called the inverse of s. The derivation of inverse linear transformation also studied in the UG complex analysis. The linear transformation of the form z plus a is called parallel translation. The linear transformation is of the form 1 by z is an inversion. Next we see the singular part. Consider R of z is of the form g of z plus h of z, where g of z is a polynomial without constant term and h of z is finite at infinity. The degree g of z is the order of the pole at infinity, and the polynomial g of z is called the singular part of R of z at infinity. In this section, we see the complex function, limit of a complex function, continuity of a complex function, derivative of a complex function, polynomials and rational functions. Thank you.